My name is Dion Lee, better known as the Flea or Dion Flea Lee. Wow, if I was to pick like a starting lineup, and I'm just going off the top of my head right now, you know what I'm saying? And it might not be fair. But, you know, as far as the skill positions, I mean, my all-time quarterback would be Jamel Holloway. Fullback would be Michael Allo. Tailback during my time period would be either Calvin Holmes or Alvin Gorey. The top wide receivers, again, Melvin Smith. Quentin Johnson is another name that people forget. Man, that dude had stick'ems. Tight end, probably be my boy Tuiasopo. You know what I'm saying? On the defense, you know, as far as the skill positions were concerned, because I'm a defensive guy, I would have to say, you know, the Kaysen brothers, Wendell and Terrence Kaysen at corners, Desmond Moreland at strong safety or free safety. Then I go with my boy Marlon Primus and Marvin Pollard switching in and out at free safety. I mean, I haven't put this all together, you know what I'm saying? But man, it's so many cats to name. You know, even Earl Sanders would be a great outside linebacker, even though he was a two-way player over at Banny. I think he was probably a better linebacker than he was running back, but he was deadly at running back. Tyrone Rogers was a great D tackle. Randy Strickland was a great D tackle back in the day. Defensive end, you know, cat only played 1 year, but I put Richard Holt up there as one of the top defensive ends. You know, he only started varsity 1 year. He only played football for 1 year and wound up going to Arizona being a defensive back. That's how talented he was. He was a defensive end in high school and started as a freshman at corner. That's how athletic folks were back in the day. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Series that we're putting together is going to talk about all these players. I mean, I'm just talking about players from 80 to 89, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's the era I grew up in. And it's a list that I'm leaving out some key players. You know, we're missing out on William Pope at wide receiver, quarterback, dual threat. Mark Walters was a dual threat quarterback, wide receiver that went to University of Colorado. Earl Sapp, who went to Arizona as a running back. Keith Mims played over at Banny. Chris Griffin, who was killing it over. But again, man, we have so many athletes that came out of the city of Carson to talk about them in the legendary status that they are. You know, what would the starting lineups look like? What would the second string look like in third strings? And if we would have even been beatable. I mean, it's crazy. You know, Brian Browning over at Gardena that went to UCLA. Gaston Green from Gardena. Then you got, you know, other kids who migrated to other high schools, you know, afterwards. Foundation of the South Bay area. You know, you look up articles, or the athletes from the city of Carson. If you look at the first team All South Bay, and you'll see all the athletes that come from Carson area that made All South Bay or LA Times or All City. So Carson is one of those cities that, a lot of people heard about but don't know the history behind what took place in the city of Carson, the many athletes, the different stories that we can talk about. So again, the question is, what if? What if everybody in the city of Carson went to one school? How powerful could we have been back in the day? One city, one team.